Do you
Well,
like this?
I'm freaking out about it because I'm like, I didn't know if I had to like have it done by like a certain time. I'm like, they have a meeting today with her, so I'm like, they have a meeting. I need to get this done before they have a meeting.
Yeah, when it comes to referrals, it's get the agreement in place. If you're, it's a handshake agreement. I've never been burned by a KW agent, but I like to have the agreements in place before their meeting. However, it gives you an opportunity to conversate, but you don't have to have the W-9 to them until before closing. Ms. Hurlbert, you're on an airplane. Put it away. Passenger row 23F, please put your phone away. We're taking off. All right. Well, good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. I want to hear your wins over the weekend, right? Friday, I gave you guys the challenge. And what was it?
To get a listing, an appointment.
That's a challenge every day, Audra, but I appreciate that. Clearly, it resonated so much with you that you remembered. Anyone want to take a stab at what my challenge was on Friday? Consistency over intensity. My question to you was define and tell me Monday what you did over the weekend to continue your development, but in a personal sense. So, who has a personal win from over the weekend?
I did.
What's your personal win, Audra?
Um, the the listing, I have another listing.
That is not a personal win.
Oh,
That is a professional win. I love you got a professional win, but that's not what we're working on. Christina Hurlbert put in the chat, she saw her family. Big win. Big win. Any other personal wins, right?
Bella signed with Gonzaga.
Way to go, Bella. Congrats going to Gonzaga.
Thank you.
Gonna be educated. Love it. Personal win. Any other personal wins from the weekend?
Still getting to my goal weight.
There you
Moving
go.
in the right direction.
He says as he eating a chocolate chip waffle.
It is a carb balanced tortilla with egg and ham.
Okay, even better. Even better. So my personal win is I finally got my water system in the backyard finished that I've been wanting to do for a year and a half. So Mikey finished 7th out of 30 in a 20-mile mountain bike race. Way to go, Mikey. That's fantastic. Why do you think I'm asking for personal development goals from the weekend, not professional stuff? Well, Dan, you're a real estate coach. You should worry about real estate stuff. Ah, no. Does your personal life affect your professional life?
yes.
Yeah, very much so. You ever heard this? Tell me if you haven't, that you will grow professionally in the same manner you grow personally. No one's heard that? Christina, I know Christina has because I talk about it all the time. I harness in the one-on-one coaching we have, we harness a lot of personal goals too, because if you are not growing personally, your professional development will be stifled because you won't be satisfied. You'll feel overwhelmed. We can't have purely professional development and feel fulfilled in life. You got to have goals that fill your soul. Simple things, right? Now, who wants to brag a little bit about their business? Any professional goals from the weekend? I mean, Christina's like, no, I just got a big fat check in my bank account. I'm gonna spend it on air miles.
I think I owe everybody that the listing that I went for and I competed with the two other people, they chose me. They actually chose me. So, you know, they helped me. Everybody helped me to not be so nervous. But yeah, it worked out.
The funny thing is, you're surprised, Audra. We aren't.
We know how awesome you are. That's why we all got behind you. I will share this, guy. I love this. Audra texts me Saturday morning. Hey, Big Dan, guess what? And like that's one of the best texts you can get when she's like, the sellers actually called me back and they chose me above the other two agents. Hell yeah, girl. Love that. That's why we do what we do. This isn't a soapbox for me to get on top here on stage and be fancy and awesome and be live on the internet. No, it doesn't matter. I do not have the face for fame. I don't. That's why I'm funny. Okay? And I'm not even that funny. But when it comes down to it, is I want you guys all to share each other's confidence, right? We look at the three different levels of confidence. You have earned confidence. These are confidences that you've earned by doing the job, doing the task. My mom used to say, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. That's earned confidence. Learned confidence is what we're doing here. We're learning about the things that we want to do and talk about. We're learning about the process. We're learning about the conversations. We're learning about the objections. We're learning to be better so then we go out there, we have a modicum of confidence to move us forward. And lastly is borrowed confidence. This could be twofold. Borrowed confidence, be confidence you're getting from other people, like we gave to Audrey. Hey, you can do this. We believe in you. Right? And that's a very, very powerful tool to have in your data and in your tool bag is borrowed confidence. Who do I have in my corner that's cheering me on? And then the other side of borrowed confidence is having somebody with you that's done it before, that's gone through it, like a guide, a coach, a mentor. You will take bigger risks in life when you know the people around you are able to help you. So great job, Audra. Great job, group, for giving her that confidence to go out there and snag a win. That's what we call success. And let's all keep our fingers crossed that Christina gets to sit in an empty row so that she's by herself. So far is a win. Let's keep that going. Love that. But today I want to talk about something. But before I do, I always like to ask any other questions, comments, concerns, or you good if I jump into my soapbox today? Okay, I got no head nods. Jessica's just confused. Right? Where do we want to go is directly tied to who we are. If you can define who you are, you're ahead of the curve. If you can talk about who I am today, will help you define where you can go for tomorrow. But then you start acting in accordance to who you want to be. Who we are is defined by what we do. So if where we want to go is set to who we are, and who we are is contingent and correlated to what we do, we should start acting the way that we want to be. I know it's very questionable circles, right? Anyone confused? Raise your hands. The three of you that I can see, because the rest of you, I don't know what you're doing. Your cameras are off. Could be napping, like I know Anthony is. But you don't become the next level version of yourself someday. You don't become the next level version of yourself one day. You become the next level version of yourself today through the choices, the habits, and the mindset of where you want to go. Jim has talked about his weight, and Jim wants to get his weight under control. Not that Jim is grossly overweight. However, Jim talks about it all the time. But it wasn't that says, Jim, you know what, I want to be 185 pounds one day. It's an action Jim had to take every single day. Jim made a choice of who he wanted to become and then started acting in accordance to that person. I asked an agent the other day this question. I said, okay, she asked me, Dan, what would you do if you were me? Right? Anyone ever had that question, heard that question, or said that question? What would you do if you were me? I hate that question because why would you want me to make decisions for you? So I fired it back and I said, what would you do? No, I said, what would the better you do? So think about that. It's not what would I do? It's what would the better you do? What would the better version of yourself do in this situation? If 185-pound Jim wants to do something, he's going to do it. Well, Jim may be 200 pounds. Not that he is. He's below that weight, and I'm proud of him for it. But at 200-pound Jim, he had to act like a 185-pound Jim. He had to start making dietary choices that a 185-pound man would make. What do you say? Carb balanced tortilla and egg sandwich, whatever that monstrosity he's eating is. I'm sure it tastes like discipline. I'm proud of you. But when you do it, you're making choices for tomorrow. It's not that you become that next level version of yourself one day. You become that next level version of yourself the moment you start making decisions in alignment with who you want to become. Again, where we're going is determined by who we are. Who we are is determined by what we do. If you want to keep making the same decisions, the same mistakes, the same errors that you did in your past, who can tell me what you're going to look like tomorrow? Are you going to look the same? But if we want to be a better version of ourselves, if we want to upgrade our physique, we want to upgrade our mindset, we want to upgrade our fashion, we want to upgrade our understanding, we want to upgrade anything, what are we going to have to change? We're going to have to change what we do. If you're hung around people that just do the same thing day in and day out, their life is pretty mundane. I think they wrote a Sublime song about that. My life is pretty plain. All right. Only one person understands that reference, and I love her
I
for
think
it.
that was Green Day, brother.
Green Day? No, that's Green Day has another one in there. A different completely song. But ask yourself, how does the version of me where I want to be show up? How do they lead? What do they say yes or no to? Big Dan is trying to become less Big Dan. So Dan has to reduce his caloric intake, right? At 350 pounds, I have a certain amount of calories I need to sustain that size. If I continue to eat at a 350-pound man, how big am I going to stay?
50.
I'm going to stay 350. So I need to start making choices that a smaller man would take. Like my wife last night. She made me 1 taco instead of 2. And then when she asked me, would you like another?
That's abuse.
It's not abuse, Mikey. It's captive engagement. Okay. I love her for it. But she asked me, do you want another? And then I have to, again, what would a smaller me do? No, I'm good. Thank you. And I drank some water and I was satisfied. Yes, I was hungry an hour later and it was bedtime, but that's not the point. I'm retraining the situation. So we ask ourselves, where do we want to go? Where do we want to go is directly tied to who we want to become. So look at that. Who am I going to become to get to where I want to go? What are the choices, the habits, the decisions, all of it that a better version of me would make? Audit your current habits, right? What habits are you stuck to? What habits are you psychologically afraid of getting rid of? In a habit here, like, I don't have any bad habits. Is your habit to say yes to everybody? Yeah, some of you. I know it is. I'm looking right into your souls. Your habit is to say yes. And
I'm
that's-
attacked.
I feel attacked.
You can't see my soul. I don't have my screen on.
Oh, but you felt it, didn't you? That's the thing, is that might be a habit. You don't realize it, but it is. It's a habit to be pleasing. Right? What would the habit future you look like? Do they say yes to everything? No, they don't. Their default is no, unless it's in alignment with their goal. Hey, Jim, do you want to meet up and get some milkshakes today?
Yes, I do.
Not going to.
I'll meet up.
There's the thing. Audit your current habits. Audit your current thinking. Audit what today's you does. And compare that to what tomorrow's you will do. And Mikey's showing us some puppies. We have to take a second and say hi to the puppies. Oh, he's got puppies. Oh, they're probably singing to him too, so he's got himself on mute. Bunch of howlers. So now a lot of people don't change because of the paramount effort it takes to get there. Change is not an easy thing for some people. Most of us don't like change. We're set in our ways. And if you've never read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, I recommend you do so. It's a great fable on change. But choose 1 degree shifts. Choose small adjustments. Because one small action you can do today for your future self will be something your future self already does. I drink water before bed. I wake up and I stretch. Right? I wake up 15 minutes earlier so that I'm not racing and I can't make myself a meal at home. So I stop and get a McChicken bullshit at Whataburger or whatever. You give yourself that 1%. Something changed. Maybe you set out a little snack for yourself in the morning, because if you're a grab and go kind of person like I am, you don't have to think about it. Here you go. Boom. You're in it. So make those small adjustments, right? For the professional side of things, maybe it's you sit down every night and download your day. Just recapping the day, making sure you go through your database or your phone logs and your text messages, and you scrub for all the action items that you need to do, and you put them on a list, and you just say, okay, these are the things I need to accomplish tomorrow. And that's your attack list. Yeah, that's tough, Dan, because most of us get into bed at the end of the day still smoking and on fire because we had such a rough day. We don't want to think about work. Well, that could be the one thing that future you does, is they recap their day. That way nothing fell through the cracks.
I love that.
Future you takes an extra minute to think before they respond. Future you takes a second to say, what am I not seeing when challenges arrive? That 1% shift might fully be up here. My wife and I yesterday, my wife was planting. We went to Costco on Saturday. Don't do that. Actually, it was Friday afternoon. Don't do that. Terribly busy. And we bought a couple of trees. Do we need trees? No. But did Costco have them on sale? Yes. So we bought trees. And we're going to plant them this weekend. In planting those trees, it became a need for the water line. And we've been wanting to get this water line fixed for over a year. So while my wife was planting her trees, I went out there and started putzing around, helping her out. And I've the 1% better me adopts the might as well do it mentality. Because if something needs to get done, might as well just get it done. Might as well do it. That way I'm not putting off tasks later on. I still follow my guidelines. Like if it's not part of my calendar, I'm not going to do it. But it's Sunday, I've got nothing on my calendar but family stuff. There's no work on a Sunday. No real estate work, really. Unless you guys call me for something, then whatever. But I don't sit down and work. So we're out there in the yard. And you guys can't tell, but I got a little red. And we have 5 different zones in our backyard. And we went through all 5 of them and tested the water lines and fixed things and did this. It took us a couple hours. But the stress of thinking about doing it cost me probably 10 times that in effort. Oh, I got to get that water line done. I got to get all this stuff done. Well, future me said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done stressing about nonsense like this. Either I'm going to hire it done or I'm just going to get it done. And it just happened to be that my wife and I just started doing it, and it became super easy because I had her to do it with. I had somebody there to do it with. So maybe your 1% shift is bringing on somebody else. Let them know who you're trying to become, what you're trying to do. So I've given you two opportunities, right? I'm doing tasks with my wife, which I love my wife to death. She's a workaholic like I am, but she's also keeping me in alignment with my goals. Now, at 11 o'clock today, I'm going to talk about all of my goals with my coach. And we're going to set a plan. We're going to set expectations. We're going to set a maker. This is what we're going to do. This is the 1% increase. So all of us, every single one of us has something we want to do more in life. A place we want to go, a person we want to see in the mirror, or a person we want to see in the eyes of our children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren. And that's all going to start today. Not someday, not one day, not when I do this or not when I figure this out. But the moment you decide, you start thinking in a different person's mindset. And that's the better version of you. Right? If you were already the version of yourself, the top producer, the amazing parent, the discipline leader, what would you do differently today? Right? Not a rhetorical question. I want you guys to think about that. If you were already that version of yourself that you want to become, how would you show up differently? Maybe on camera.
Ooh, that's done.
Right? How would you show up? Because the odds are there's 14 of us in this call, including myself. 20% of you, or 2.8 people, we'll round that up to 3 of you are going to do something today to improve yourselves. Out of 13, only 2 of you are going to do something. And the odds are the ones that show up on camera, in person, participating, reacting, responding, and not having this as a background noise are probably going to be more likely to get it. So let me ask you again. If you were already that version of who you want to be, what is something you would do differently today? Somebody answer. I will call on you. Jason, I know you're contemplative.
What would I do differently today?
Let's talk about that. Who do you want to be, right? Who's the better version of Jason in what aspect?
Oh man, there's so many aspects of it.
Pick one.
I don't know how to call it what it's called, but self-doubt.
Okay. Eliminate, you're less doubting of yourself.
Yeah.
Future Jason is more confident in his abilities.
Future Jason is confident in his past abilities and has let his self-doubt get in the way now.
Okay. Well, future Jason's has no more self-doubt. You can't have confidence and self-doubt in the same sentence. They contradict each other. Fire and water, buddy. Fire and water.
Yeah.
Fire is confidence, self-doubt is the water. Puts out the flame. So, future Jason, tomorrow Jason, the Jason that does not have self-doubt, what does he do differently than the Jason today?
Making the contacts that I need to for business-wise.
Okay. He gets out of his own way. He does the work. Right? Go do that. Don't wait to become. Decide to be. Decide to be future Jason that doesn't let self-doubt stop him. I like to tell people I'm not smart enough to self-doubt. I can't think that deep. Be the same way. It's going to be tough. Some of this stuff is hard, guys. It's not easy. It's hard to think about tomorrow when we're so focused on today because today is tough. Life is tough. Sometimes you get kicked square in the chin and you got to figure it out.
That is me. I'm too dumb to self-doubt.
Yeah. It's amazing to me. I see so many successful people that are like, wow, you are stupid, but they're too dumb to self-doubt. Don't listen. Just act. Don't let today's problems keep you from tomorrow's success because you're going to have problems tomorrow too. You're going to be bigger problems. Life doesn't get easier. We get stronger. So I want you to really think about that. What does the better version of me do in this situation? What would the better version of Gracie do to handle this type of buyer, to handle this type of seller, to handle this type of obstacle? And then do it. Don't wait. Do. Because when we can put ourselves in a future-pacing mindset, we move forward. Think of yourself standing straight up and you lean forward to get something and someone pushes you. Which way are you going? Forward. You're failing forward. But if you're looking behind you and you look at your past and you define everything on who you were, that's looking behind you. That's reaching back. And when someone pushes you, where are you going to go? You're going to go backwards. So lean into the future potential of who you are. Lean into that better version of you and start making the decisions, the habits, the actions, the belief systems around that better version. You'll find yourself in a way different place. Okay. I want you guys to think about that today. That's your challenge for me. Come up with one thing future you does better for both personal and professional development. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it? Are you going to remember tomorrow when I ask you? Okay. Did you learn something today? Was it worth your time?
Yeah.
I think we have some new guests on the call too. Amanda, thank you for joining us. Anthony, thank you for bringing her
Thank you for sharing some of your morning with me. I appreciate it.
every day,
Mhm.
8 a.m. to 8:30, Monday through Friday, Arizona time, unless I don't want to. Pretty simple, right?